If I wanted a corrupt city manager for breakfast, I'd have invited him.
What? Oh, excuse me.
That's better. Now, this is the city employee that I like.
Oh, don't remind me. More like city prisoner.
Oh, we all have our loads to bear, son. I've got a lot more to do today, but I'm not grumbling because I'm thankful I can handle it.
Preach it there, Sister Redlin. Oh, my goodness. I wondered if I put sugar in this. I guess not. Hey, Mom. Where'd you get this?
Oh, you remember.
Remember, I only collected and returned over 100 bottle tops just to buy you this. I thought it was broken over years ago.
Oh, when it got the last little crack in it, I decided to put it away. You know, yesterday as I was unpacking, I just couldn't resist taking it out again. It just kind of reminded me of the old days.
Did you fix my oatmeal?
Oh, yes, but I don't want you gulping it down now. You've got a lot more time.
Not the sugar, Dad.
Yep.
What a goofy sugar bowl.
You watch it there, Buster. There's a couple of neckties in my closet that I could do without, too.
You're weird, Dad.
Would you just take your time there with you eating there, buddy?
Can I call Mom after I'm finished eating breakfast?
Jimmy, you don't have time.
I do too. Grandma just said so.
Jimmy, it's already a quarter after.
I have 15 minutes.
No! Besides, you tried to call your mom once last night and she wasn't in. She's probably asleep by now.
But she wouldn't mind if I called.
Jimmy, I said no, and I mean no.
But Dad...
No, Jimmy.
Relax, honey. I'm not here to chew up the office furniture today.
Good morning.
Where is he?
I don't know. Really, I don't.
Okay. But as far as you know, he is supposed to be in today? Oh, come on, Mrs.
Lang. Vicky Lang.
Mrs. Lang, Miss Lang, Vicky. Could it hurt to tell me that much?
Mrs. Redland, this is not a pleasant position for me to be in.
I'm not thrilled with it either, honey. Well, I do respect your loyalty anyway. I don't like where it's placed, but I respect it. I think Jean has a very good friend in you. Jean!
Miss Lang, no, but I'd be glad to be if it means I'd get to know you any better.
Excuse me.
Oh, my pleasure.
What is it, Mr. Webster?
Harold, please. Who is she?
It's business.
Yeah, sure it is. I suppose that look on her face is because you won't let her open up a boutique in her basement, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what was it you wanted?
What?
I assume you're here for a reason?
Oh, yeah, little darling. As a matter of fact, I am. Where is the approved permit for construction on Hollister Mall?
It's not ready yet.
Whoa. Wait just a minute now. Did you not give me the proper forms to fill out?
Yes.
Oh, did I not fill them out correctly?
It appeared that you did so, yes.
And you have had them back here for several days?
Yes, but
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I've done all those things correctly, and if you've read them over, why am I not at this very minute holding the forms in my hand?
because mine is not the last desk. It has to cross Mr. Redland's, and he hasn't gotten to it. It should be ready tomorrow.
Good.
Or the next day.
Young lady, I sincerely hope that we're not back on the same old merry-go-round we were on before with this office.
no, it's
because
just-
if we are, I assure you, I can institute certain legal proceedings against this office, or you personally, if need be.
Mr. Webster, you don't have to remind me how good a lawyer you are.
Good. Let's just leave it at that then, shall we? I don't suppose you're free for lunch, are you? Maybe some other time. I'll be seeing you again. Very soon.
Excuse me.
Don't tell me you're free for lunch.
Did I hear you say you were a lawyer?
Well, not the best, but I'm in the top 10.
Are you exclusive to corporations, or do you handle private cases too?
Well, even if I didn't, I'd sure make an exception for you. No, as a matter of fact, Hollister Mall is the only corporation I'm involved with. What can I do for you?
Well, never mind. It's nothing.
Look, wait just a minute. Don't be shy now. Oh, there's nothing I hate more than losing a potential client, but I'm due in court in 10 minutes. Look, yeah, here, take this, my business card. Now, if you are in need of any kind of legal assistance, I promise you, you can do no better than me. You name it, I'll get it for you.
So, then what'd the old codger say?
That you've acquired a somewhat legendary status among the younger lawyers.
Well, now, if that's intended as a compliment, it missed the mark. But it does remind me how old I'm getting. Legendary?
It was. And even you can't dispute your success.
Well, I have been richly blessed, for which I'm thankful. And that brings me to the point why I'm here today.
Something new to report on the Lawson case, I'll bet.
Would you believe a new will?
Mitch, in this case, nothing would surprise me. Now, did Miss Lawson find a will that says Scott Davidson left everything to her, too?
No, not quite. Though Scott does play a role in this, indirectly. His sister paid us a visit a couple days ago, and incredible as this may sound, she has a copy of Nora's original will, the true will.
How?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but Karen and Nora always hit it off, and from an offhand remark that Karen made about a clock that Nora has, Karen found herself in Nora's will.
Well, did you bring the will with you?
It'll be in a couple of days. But I was wondering, how might this affect your previous orders?
Let's just say it might.
Can't be a tad more specific?
I could, but I'd rather not speculate on anything until I see the document.
But
No matter how valid your assessment of the situation might be.
well, can't blame a fellow for trying.
Is that what you call it? Maybe more of those stories about you are truer than you're admitting.
Good morning, Vicky.
Good morning.
Hello, Jean.
Hello?
I tried calling you yesterday. Funny thing, the operator said your number had been changed to an unlisted one.
Uh-huh.
I also stopped by your apartment. Your old apartment, I should say. What have you done with my son?
Your son? Your son, Carla? That's a very convenient phrase, lady. 2 years ago, you decided that he was my son. Well, that's the way it's gonna stay.
I want to see him.
And he wanted to see you, too. Every time he scraped his knee and every time he went to bed at night, only you weren't there. You're off chasing some star.
Oh, stop it! That's not fair!
Oh, don't tell me what's fair,
No, I
Carla!
won't. I never could. No one could ever tell you anything because you know it all. You didn't know me then and you don't know me now.
Hey, don't sell me short. You're as transparent as that
And
glass.
so are you. You've got me right where you wanted me ever since the first day we were married, don't you? Right under your thumb. Unable to make a move, well, don't you count on it.
Listen, lady, I'm gonna tell... You're not gonna see Jimmy, okay?
That's what you think. I'm sick to death of everything having to be your way. I'll find him and then you'll regret what you've done.
Don't threaten me, Carla. I mean that.
Why not? What have I got to lose?
Hey, listen, Ron, I'll be back in a minute, okay?
Okay.
Gee, you know, there was a time when you'd never even think about opening up a book in here.
And you'd never think of opening one in the library.
I guess.
Join me?
Yeah, sure, why not?
How's Becky?
Fine, Ben.
Fine.
What's so funny?
Well, it just seems a little odd that we should inquire about our spouses before we inquire about each other.
You're right. How are you?
Lousy! How are you?
Better now that I'm sharing a little time with an old friend. What, did I shock you?
Yeah, it's just that it's the first that I've seen of Laurie Davidson in a long time.
Lori Martin, remember?
Yeah, I remember. But I meant Laurie Davidson.
I know what you mean, Russ. She doesn't exist anymore. Just like you're not the same Russ Weaver I used to know.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Change isn't always bad, Russ. Many times it means we're growing.
Now, that was definitely Laurie Davidson talking.
I do a great impersonation, don't I?
Yeah, so do I. Today I'm pretending to be... Well, it doesn't matter.
Go on, Russ, what?
Well... You know, in some ways, I really feel like I'm lonelier now that I'm married than when I was single.
Don't confuse how you feel with the way things really are.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I could just go back and start over again.
That's why it's so important we get it right the first time, Russ.
Alex, all the pieces are starting to fall into place now. I'm so excited about the clinic. I walk around here with this feeling in the pit of my stomach.
Yeah, I know the feeling well. Hospital food has the same effect on me, too.
Well, I'm sure you must have felt like this when you started your own practice.
Well, maybe. I think the first time I was alone in my very own office with my very first patient, all I felt was terror. Now, how well I remember that. Oh, Terry.
I thought there was a hospital rule forbidding doctors from eating lunch before 2 o'clock.
Shh. Supervising nurse thinks we're down in pathology and not to be disturbed.
Oh,
Sit
well,
down.
my lips are sealed. Unless you don't fill out poor Mr. Doubleday's med order. He has been asking for something for pain for over an hour.
Poor Mr. Doubleday thinks he should be anesthetized every time I put a bandage on him. You know, I haven't treated him with anything stronger than aspirin for the last 5 years. I'll bet he's the only man in history that's addicted to placebos.
He was a little inconsistent with his complaints.
Well, I guess I better check it out. If I don't, it'll be the first time the pain's been for real, right?
That's the way it usually happens.
Yeah.
Oh, Alex, did Ben tell you the good news?
No, what?
Well, it looks like this whole mess with Nancy and Mother's will is finally going to come to an end.
Oh, how's that? She confessed?
Oh, hardly.
Scott's sister, Karen, turned up with a copy of the real will. Isn't that wonderful?
That is wonderful. But knowing Nancy, I'll bet she has something else up her sleeve.
Do you think he could be right, Ben?
Why worry about it? It's not our battle anyway, right?
Right.
Have you talked with Lori since the other night?
Some. Why?
Has she mentioned that anything's wrong?
Ben, you know how I feel about interfering mothers-in-law.
Can't you make an exception in this case?
No. Especially not this case. Ben, the Lord has given you and Lori a very special gift in your marriage. Very few realize how precious these days, and fewer still are willing to make the effort to keep it alive.
Well, I am.
Are you? Are you willing to keep discussing something at 2 o'clock in the morning, just so you don't go to sleep angry? Or to try one more time to be reasonable, even when she won't? And all you want to do is leave the room and slam the door. Or are you willing to let her into parts of your life where you've never let anyone before? There's no such thing as giving 50%, Ben. And Lori can't give 50%. You both have to give 100%, or it doesn't work. There's no need for you to ask me what Lori said. You know what's bothering her.
I guess she has been feeling kind of left out of my plans for the clinic and our future.
Well, so much for the interfering mother-in-law bid.
Don't give it a second thought. And thanks, Mom.
That's good. Oh, say, listen. I just remembered. Lori invited me over for dinner tonight. It could have been a cool evening.
Never. I'm looking forward to it already.
So that's where things stand. I'm no saint, I admit that.
No one is, Miss Redland. I spend most of my time proving that fact. Now, the question is, can I prove to a judge that your husband is a worse human being than you are?
Will it come to that?
Oh, it has to. You do want to get your little boy back, don't you?
Yes.
Good.
But, what about now? I've told my husband that, my ex-husband, that I have my rights. Do I?
Well, as they say, possession is 9/10 of the law. But we don't really want to talk about that right now. Look, have you got your divorce papers?
No. Actually, I never got them.
Why not?
Well, I was on the road. And half the time, I didn't even know where I was. There was no way Jean could have gotten them to me.
I'm just trying to save a little time. I'll get them. The courts will have a copy.
What did you mean by that remark, possession?
Ms. Redland, that's a question that our legal system is trying to untangle right now. Frankly, it's a mess. Parents have the right to keep their own children, no matter how unscrupulously they get them.
But Jimmy, he's my baby.
But please, I'll do everything I can.
No, I mean, what about right now? I need him now. I know I've made some terrible mistakes and I'm sorry, but you've got to get my baby back for me. I miss him so much.
Here, take this.
I'm really a very stable person. But you wouldn't know that right now.
There's no need to apologize, Ms. Redland. Look, I'm going to do everything I can to help you. Don't you worry. We'll find a way to get your Jimmy back for you.
I'm sorry, Mom. I don't know where Ben could be.
He's a doctor, Lori. I can think of a dozen possibilities.
Yeah. All of which could keep him for hours.
Honey, sit down, please. He'll call if it's serious.
I hope.
Besides, I'm glad to have this time with you. Heaven knows there's not enough.
Well, it looks like my great plans didn't turn out to be so great after all. Half of us couldn't even be here. Why is Peter so infatuated with basketball anyway?
Well, I think it's more loyalty than anything else. The team isn't very good this year.
I wish Ben would get here.
Honey, be fair.
Whose side are you on anyway?
I'm not on anyone's side.
Well, he's an hour late. And so far, you've done nothing but defend him.
And you've done nothing but accuse him, without even stopping to consider that he may have a legitimate excuse. Well, look, maybe I better leave. I don't want to be caught right in the middle of this.
What? No. I'm sorry.
Honey, let's just enjoy this moment. In 10 years, we'll be surrounded by 6 noisy kids of yours, and then we'll regret it.
Right. 6 children?
Yeah. Oh, remember when your father was a reporter? And how we used to wait for him to come home?
Do I? And Peter would drive you crazy by asking where he was every 5 minutes.
Just Peter?
Well, maybe I'd ask every once in a while.
We had our share of late dinners in those days.
That's funny. You know, those times were some of the best.
They were.
You're too smart for me, Mother.
No. I'm your mother. Listen, honey. This is what it can be like to be a doctor's wife. I know it's difficult sometimes, but I also know that you can handle it.
I'm sorry I got so angry, Mom. I know Ben wouldn't be late unless it was very important.
Anybody home?
In here, honey.
Oh, hi, Terry.
Hi, dear.
I'm sorry I'm late.
That's all right. We were reminiscing.
Well, that's nice.
So, what was the emergency?
What?
The emergency. You know, something came up at the hospital, and that's why you're late, right?
No, not at all. I stopped by the realtors to look for a possible clinic location.
Mom! You know what just happened?
Gene.
Those little nappy-head boys went running up and down the street screaming until they broke every last street light.
Gene, honey.
I told you that kind of stuff was going to happen in this neighborhood. Not only that, they shattered an empty bottle up against Mrs. Murray's car, and they almost hit mine, too.
Gene, stop.
Mom, what's wrong with you?
Oh, I'm worried Jimmy hasn't come home from school yet.
What?
Oh, honey. He should have been here right after
Well,
school.
didn't he call or anything?
Not a word. I haven't heard a thing.
Oh, Mama, come on. The boys you probably stepped out or something.
Gene, I haven't been outside this house, not 1 foot outside.
Well, didn't he say anything about going over to his friend's house or something like that?
Not a word, and besides, he should have been here. You're late yourself.
No, in this neighborhood, anything could happen to him.
Oh, Gene, don't talk like that. You're scaring me.
Mama, I'm not saying anything that you're not already thinking yourself.
Oh, I know, son, but you know, he's such a little guy, and,
lady.
you know, maybe some of the boys picking on him, and then,
Mom.
oh.
All
heavens,
right,
I don't
look,
even wanna think
Mom,
about it.
we don't know what happened, so why don't we just try and calm down, okay?
But maybe we should call the hospital.
Mom, come on.
Maybe the police.
What am I going to tell the police? He's only been gone for a couple of hours.
Well, call somebody.
Mom, please, would you sit down and just let me think?
Oh, Lord, keep him
on.
safe. Oh. There.
No, no, no.
Jane, what? Jane, what?
It's Carla. She found him.